These are the Second City Players on Halsted Street. From Second City, Jim Belushi, Danny Breen, Megan Fay, Mary Gross, Bruce Jarko, Lance Kinsey, and Rob Riley from the show Well, I'm Off to the 30 Years War, or Swing Your Partner to the Right, a bit on Halsted Street. But we don't want to leave out the suburbs. From the current Second City Review, called Miro, Miro on the Wall, a return to the North Shore. Well, since we're pinpointing locations and dealing with the ethnic and cultural aspects of the city, here's a bit of a guide. El Findo, Yuri Rozovsky, and the Chicago Language Tape, from a record produced as a benefit for the National Radio Theater of Chicago. National Radio Theater, incidentally, is returning to WFMT in the third week of October. They'll be on Manhattan. Gene Shepard and some of his impressions of Chicago as seen from New York, and one of Chicago's major contributions to world culture, Playboy magazine. Well, Steve, they didn't do so badly in the last half of the season, did they? Steve Goodman and his new song about the Chicago Cubs. Before that, we heard John Kapilas, Rick Thomas, and Lance Kinsey from the new Second City Review, their 61st show, Miro, Miro on the Wall, which we taped last night. There are plenty of...
Majesty the policeman, see?
The Busaminium from Second City. One of America's most popular humorists, Bob Newhart, was born in Oak Park. And while he doesn't call this bus driver's school a Chicago phenomenon, it could be.
I took a ride on...
How about Goethe and Mozart, a few others. Devon, of course. Bob Newhart, the subject of bus driving school. Bob Newhart, who was born in Oak Park, the Conception Corporation we heard earlier, that consisted of Murphy Dunn and Ira Miller and Jeff Began and Howard Cohen, some former Chicagoans who moved west. As we mentioned earlier, Lord Richard Buckley, a vaudeville star and a star in some of the strip joints in early Chicago history before he became a hip comedian. This is a program of all Chicago songs and humor on the Midnight Special from WFMT in Chicago at 12 midnight as we conclude this first portion of the program.
Has leveled Chicago.
That was taped about 25 years ago by the man who started this program about 28 years ago, Mike Nichols, with Elaine May